So we are very close to finishing the final assembly of this E36 N54, and we need to power wash and trim paint the cowling and the valve covers and make sure that the engine looks nice and pretty. I think that's really the most important thing, is not only that it's functional, but it also looks good too. So we want that black to pop out and contrast really well against that white. So we're gonna power wash it, and we're gonna paint it, and then we're gonna install all the remaining components in today's episode. Time to paint these bad boys. We've got an SEM black trim paint. It's 39143. A full can is about 15 bucks. I'm probably gonna end up using a full can after painting all the other stuff that I painted earlier. But this is all gonna be black, nice black trim. I power washed it, I've cleaned it all up, and as you can see, I've taped off all the lines so that when we peel this back, it'll be a really nice, clean black with a really good contrast. So let's paint this up. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we are going to be doing the intake manifold shrouding and valve cover install, all the intake tubing for the turbos. We're going to get all that done, and then we can start moving on to the next stuff, which is going to be, power steering lines. Eventually, we'll end up doing the core support. So I'm really looking forward to the progress that we're making today. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think about the progress. This is going to be a big day, a big video in terms of final assembly, and then we'll start getting into wiring. But first, let's just get the power steering out of the way, because that reservoir is going to be there. We have the lines that are going to end up getting sucked into underneath all of the intercooler piping. So let's just do the power steering first, get that out of the way, and then the intercooler piping will end up going. If we do the other one first, it'll be a lot more difficult, so let's just make things easier for ourselves. So we really want to try cleaning these as much as we possibly can before we put them in. So you just basically put like a rag, kind of like this, and you can turn it around, but it's beveled inside, so you kind of want to use a screwdriver in order to kind of get into that beveling and kind of twist it around and just get the inside nice and clean. Make sure that the surfaces that the washers are going to end up making contact with are nice and true, no cuts or gouges in them, or else you're going to end up getting a leak that way. And don't forget to clean all your hardware. Your power steering side as well, clean all that up so that makes a nice good contact surface, as well as your power steering pump. All power steering lines are on, reservoir is on. These two puppies go to the power steering cooler. We got our two going to the rack right in there, and goes to the pump and out. So we're basically pretty much done with power steering for now. We do need to mock up the intercooler setup. This this will end up going. We'll cut this off, and we'll be substituting some silicone for that. And I don't have the rest of the intercooler, but I do want to do the intake first, and then the intercooler will follow, because the intake tubing will end up flowing down, and then we can start doing the intercooler from there. So let's do the intake tubing now. Let's see what we can do about taking these stickers off. See if maybe it'll pop up just a little bit, right? That's all we want. Just to make it look better than it did before. And taking off this sticker, I felt like it was the least of two evils. lesser of two evils, to just tape it as opposed to removing it. So now we're going to install our upgraded 7-inch aftermarket intercooler from VSRF. This was a kit that came with 2 silicone couplers, 4 tubing clamps, and an additional aluminum tube to replace the old one that was located on the driver's side for the intake. So let's install that now, at least get it mocked up before we put the radiator core support on, because it's just going to be a little bit easier to at least mock it up. And then when we install the core support in the radiator, we'll know where everything fits, and then we can either trim if we have to, or final install, which will be preferred. So the intercooler is installed in place. It's in a very rough location. I want to now put the core support on, see how the radiator fits around it, and then I'll start doing some more permanent installation. This HVAC grill here that connects into this special type of seal and gasket, and then this kind of bridge, fly bridge, it has the power wire that goes to the starter and the alternator, and a couple of other wires, low voltage wires for it as well. You know, it ends up kind of going over here to the positive side and the grounds, and I wanted to kind of adapt something that kind of slips into there somehow and kind of holds it into place. So I have these 3 clips. And I think that those 3 clips should really come in handy for fabbing something custom up. Give this a nice little black paint job to make it blend in with the rest of the car. But this is kind of my plan. Right now I'm going to put it on hold. I'm going to get the rest of the engine bay in order. I'm not really going to show you that until I'm done. But right now, that's kind of the plan, is to just let you know, hey, I am thinking about how to do this. I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but I have a couple of ideas brewing. Now it's time to install the intercooler. So let's see how this thing pans out. Man, have I come a long way. But now we're ready to install the bumper, and I'm so excited to see how this thing is actually going to turn out and look. We're going to get the grill on, get the bumper on, and we're just going to see if this intercooler fits, and let's see how this thing looks. Let's put it on the ground, huh? Let's do it! So everything's basically installed. It's just, I gotta tune the fitment a little bit. Intercooler is looking pretty good in there, fitting pretty nice. This side does need a little bit of tuning in terms of the fitment as well. And the front grille looks pretty good as well. Let's install the fan, and then we'll do the unveiling. guys, that just about does it for us today. Let's do the reveal, huh? And let's do a poor man's reveal. What is a poor man's reveal? Well, I was gonna use a sweatshirt and rags to cover everything up, but I decided that the plastic was better, which still is pretty shitty. Anyway, everything is installed except the hood, and I wanna share with you everything that's come up to this point. You know, it's been a great run so far. I still got a couple more weeks left of work to put into this thing and get it running and get it test driven. But this was a really big milestone today, and I want to share this with you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. So here we go, the E36 N54. Don't worry about this rat's nest of wires. We're going to take care of that in the next episode. Don't worry about those wires. We'll organize them. We'll wire them. Guys, thanks for watching, huh? Comment, like, subscribe. Don't like if you don't like it, whatever. I'm just happy I'm at this point. This is a great milestone, and I'm happy to share it with you guys. Take care, and tune in for the next video, huh? Later!